Hello and welcome to an Everyday Canines video. In this episode on running contacts, we're going to talk about really tight turns, the back on ourselves turn to this jump. Now, I said in my intro video, these are very rare to see in the UK. In Sparrow's career, I mean, she's now 7.5, so she's been competing, 6 years? Yeah. I've seen this sort of turn twice. Once was back on a jump like this, and you had to ask the dog to come back and then come along around that wing and go on again. And another time was they turned back and they had to miss one tunnel entrance and go into the other tunnel entrance that was under the dog walk. So this is not a turn I see a lot, and if I'm honest with you, I don't teach this a lot, but it is a turn that has the potential to show up, and like everything, it's good to have it. And again, if we can get our dogs to do this turn without the aid of something to shape them, and if we can teach them they have to come all the way down and turn, we're proofing our general running dog walk again. So it's just another way of doing that. But this is a hard turn to train and get right, so be patient with this one. So I'm going to put my wing back in place, and what I want is I want my dog to turn around and do a U-bend here. Now I've got my treat and train quite close because I'm teaching something new and they're going to have to turn quite close. So I'm just having it there again as a target to shape them. Okay, Swift. So I'm going to have her up here and I'm going to let her go. Okay, good girl. And in actual fact, she didn't turn as tight as I thought she would, so I'm going to move that out there. That's nicer than I thought it was going to be. I thought she might turn really tight, but actually she turned more like how that jump is set, so I'm happy with that. Okay, let's go with this Swift. So we're coming up. I'm going to start her really close. Nice. And it's going to be slow because she's working out what she's got to do and she hasn't got a lot of momentum going. Good girl. Okay, this way. Okay. Nice. Good girl. And you see it's exactly like we did before. But this time, because I know it's a harder turn and because it's unusual for them, I'm starting close. Now you could even do this to start with a toy on. Yes. Okay, so we can now move this back a bit, and I'm going to move this back a lot more than I would expect you to, but because I'm trying to move this along for you, I would actually do it in stages. Now I'm going to still be quite close because I'm concentrating on the turn, and then we'll worry about adding speed in. Okay, yeah, good girl. And you can see she's like, oh, this is different. And there's a lot of thought having to go into this behaviour here. She's thinking about her feet, about the turn. There's a lot of things happening here. So we're just going to concentrate on this behaviour, then we'll worry about putting in the rest. Okay, Swift. Okay. Good girl. Now, as soon as she's starting to do that a bit more confidently, because she's a bit unsure at this moment in time, but as soon as she's starting to do that more confidently, I'd be adding in the cue, which for me on this would be steady. So this is a little bit more than I would do at this stage because you've not really got the confidence up, but I just want to show you how you move to the next bit. It should be moving there. So I would be doing this a lot more slower. You're a good girl. Okay. And you can see, actually, even though she knew where that was, that threw her. So that's what I mean. You need to do this very slowly. I just want to show you the stages. Okay. Because this is a complicated turn, she wants to turn off there and that, when do I add in my turn cue? This is a little bit debatable, and I'm actually thinking that it might be nicer to do it earlier on, rather than like with the other ones, we waited until we were behind that jump. This time I actually think it'd be nicer here. So I'm going to bring this back. That would be your final position. But what I'm thinking is, actually be nicer to start teaching sooner because she cannot see this when she's coming down. These ones she can see, she can't see that. So I'm going to start teaching this sooner, the cue sooner. Okay, you ready? Okay, okay. Steady, good girl. Now obviously I'm a bit sooner than I would really like to do this on there. I'd rather she was doing that a bit more confidently before I'm adding the wording. Doing this for your benefit. Okay, try it once more. But you can see what she's doing and achieving. Ready, steady. Nice! And just like all your others, you're building up the behaviour, getting it in so she knows that. Then of course we're going to move this back. There's no way she's ready for me to move this away. it's going to take a lot more before she's ready for that. If I move this away now, she will just cut corners. So this is going to have to be here for a while yet. We're going to move that away. I would suggest that before you increase the distance of where that treat and train is, you play around with where you position this and see if you can bring this back. I think what I would do is I'd have some sessions where this is where it is. I'd work on distance of the manners minder, so they're driving on, and then I'd have other sessions when it's close and I'd play with the position of the wing. And then obviously you're going to eventually bring them back together, but that's just a way of teaching them, because there's two quite big important components. Again, how often should you train this one? For me, it's not a big one for me to train, because I'm not going to see it very often. Though I suppose we could always suddenly have a season where all the judges say, let's have those 90-degree turns. No, 180-degree turns, yeah. 180 as I said, they're still legal, but I'm not sure how many handlers would appreciate having turns like this on the dog walk these days, or be impressed by them. But say it's a thing to train, it's a little exercise, you help improve your contacts. So train it up as much as you feel you need to. Bear in mind it is a harder turn for your dog's body, so don't overtrain this, because your dog's really having to, when they're doing the full one, you're going to have to really put the brakes on and turn. But it's something to throw into the mix, help you to practice your contacts and see how you get on. So that's how you're going to do this. Obviously, again, I would have a jump over there and do it with the jump over there. And then once you're getting all these different turns proved and they're all doing really well, the next thing to do would be start mixing it up, and instead of having jumps, have tunnels, have weaves, and mix it up and see what happens, see if you can still get the same behaviour. This is the sort of behaviour that needs to constantly keep being reinforced, and if you don't reinforce it, then it's likely to be lost. So it's something you need to keep coming back to. Say if I'm doing a running contact session, at least once in a while I need to put in a turn session. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, you might subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you can press the bell icon and that will notify you when new videos are coming out. And you can also find us on Facebook and Instagram, and I hope to see you all again very, very soon.